I'm now joined on the phone by Julian Benson, who is a co-chair of the Toronto Young New Democrats. And Julian is here to speak with us this morning about the potential strike of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers that may happen. They'll be in a legal strike position as of midnight tonight. Good morning, Julian.
Good morning, Joel.
Thank you so much for being here with us bright and early on this Thursday morning.
Oh, no trouble at all.
Julian, tell us, what exactly is who or what is the Toronto Young New Democrats?
Well, the Toronto Young New Democrats, or the TYND as we usually refer to ourselves, is a new group of youth we started about 18 months ago. And a bunch of us were in the NDP, and the young wing of the party were dissatisfied with sort of the status quo of the way the youth were organized. We tended to be brought in to cheerlead for certain party events and wave the flag, so to speak, and then disappear into the night. And we decided we wanted to be a little more active than that. So we started up the TYND, which is a very activist group. We meet on a monthly basis, and we really concern ourselves with going out there and actually building the party, being active in the communities, being active on the streets and on the demos, and sort of taking the party into the people rather than the other way around.
And Julian, I know that there is a solidarity event planned for the brothers and sisters with CUPW, the Canadian Union of Postal Workers,
That's right.
for today. Why is that important to you, and why is it important to Tindy to be out there with the brothers and sisters from CUPW?
Well, it's vitally important. If our party, if the NDP is to be relevant anywhere outside of the halls of Parliament, we have to connect with the regular working people of this country. We have to be there for their struggles, and not just occasionally when there's cameras around, but to be there to include their voices and their concerns within the context of our party. And if we're going to make politics more than just about voting once every 4 years, but actually making a dynamic and changing way of looking at society, of saying how can we change things, what's going on, and actually involving the mass of the population in a political movement and actually reconstruct this country in a way that we want to see it. We have to be there. We have to be showing people that a political party isn't just, for politicos and political junkies, but is for everyday working people who have issues in their lives that they need to change.
Julian, can you tell us what is your understanding of the major issues that have kept the employer Canada Post and CUPW apart and put us in this position where CUPW is in a legal strike position as of midnight tonight?
Well, of course, we can talk about specifics of wages and benefits and seniority and the need to maintain good conditions for younger workers coming to the workforce. But really what this strike is about is far more broad and far more general. Stephen Harper was elected with majority, and no matter who had won the election between Mr. Harper or Mr. Ignatius, we would have seen the same economic policies. We have a very large national debt. If you include the provincial debt, which most statistics for some reason don't want to, we are actually the 16th most indebted nation in the world. And that means austerity. That means that Stephen Harper is going to have to put through massive cuts to all sorts of social programs, to wages, to living standards, in order to pay for the bailouts and these financial assistance that he gave away to all these banks and corporations. And what that means is, because the CUPW contract was the first to expire on a federal level, they are simply the first in what could be a long line of attacks on different workers, on different sectors of the economy, on social programs that Stephen Harper is going to put through. So it is vitally important that everyone with an interest in maintaining social programs, health care, child care where it exists, good wages, and good jobs has to support the CUPW workers. They're simply the first battle in a war against austerity that we have to win if we're going to maintain our standard of living in this country.
Julian, and I know one of the major issues, and you alluded to it, is the attempt to create different working conditions for new hires or young workers with a lesser pension and lesser wages, lesser benefits than for existing workers, and CUPW has taken a strong stance against that. This is not unique to the Postal Service. This has been something that employers have tried to do across the board, and an issue that I imagine would strike close to home for a group of youth such as yours. Why, in speaking, I know I'm a New Democrat and you're a New Democrat and it's important to us, but why is this strike? Why should people in the broader community, beyond New Democrats, beyond the labor movement strictly, why should they be concerned about what CUPW is facing?
Well, that's a very good question. The number one group in our society with the lowest wages and the wages that are being driven down the fastest, it's actually not women or immigrants, as you might expect, though of course their wages are driven down below the average as well. It's youth. Young people are being made to pay the price for the austerity and the old, tired politics of Stephen Harper and Michael Ignatieff. We're being made to pay the price for the economic crisis we're in, more so than any other group. And quite frankly, regardless of your party affiliation, if you have children or brothers and sisters or cousins or nieces and nephews who are young, or you plan on having them, if you are interested at all in the future of this country, then you should be aware that the young people of this country are being made to pay a terrible price, not only with their present, but with their future, by having to accept these cuts and these attacks on their living standards. If you are a working person, or you have children, or you have any interest in making sure that Canada is a good place to live for your children and your grandchildren, then you have to realize that the time to fight is now. These problems are not going to go away. They're going to continue to get worse. We are in the middle of an economic battle, and it is only going to escalate. We have to become aware that the decisions we make now affect generations to come.
Julian, where are you going to be at midnight tonight when that strike deadline passes?
I will be on Eastern Avenue, right outside the mail sorting plant, with my TYND brothers and sisters, with the CUPW brothers and sisters, supporting the workers and hoping for a quick end to this dispute in the workers' benefit. And that's always the most important part.
Thank you so much for joining us early this morning, Julian.
Thank you very much, Joe. Always a pleasure.
Thanks for being here. That was Julian Benson, who is one of the two co-chairs of the Toronto Young New Democrats. And as he said, we are facing a potential postal strike, the first in 14 years, as CUPW is in a legal strike position coming up at midnight tonight. And one of the major issues in that dispute is the employer's desire to create separate or different working conditions for new hires. This is something that has been accepted by some unions and is being strongly resisted by CUPW at this point.